Mia Carter, a bright and hopeful student, stood before her class to share a personal story. With a confident smile, she announced that her mom worked at the National Space Agency, a fact that filled her with pride. However, the room's reaction was far from what she expected. As she explained her mother's role in groundbreaking aerospace research, several classmates burst into laughter. Their mocking giggles and whispered doubts filled the classroom, drowning out the importance of her revelation. Mia could feel her cheeks growing warm, not just from embarrassment but from the sting of disbelief that her peers would dismiss such a remarkable truth. To them, her mom's work seemed like an overblown fairy tale, something too fantastical to be real. Yet Mia knew better. She had seen firsthand the glimmer of inspiration in her mom's eyes when she talked about missions beyond Earth. In that moment, Mia's heart pounded with a mix of pride and hurt. The laughter wasn't merely a reaction to her claim, it was an attack on the possibility that someone from their own neighborhood could be connected to something as prestigious as the National Space Agency. Every chuckle and derisive remark echoed in her mind, fueling a determination to hold on to her truth. The classroom, typically a place of learning and exploration, now felt like a battleground where dreams clashed with ignorance. Despite the jeers, Mia continued her presentation with quiet dignity. She recounted details of space exploration, the challenges of interstellar research, and how her mom had overcome countless obstacles to work in an environment dominated by skepticism. Each word was a testament to her belief in her mom's accomplishments, even if her classmates could not see it. Mia's voice wavered ever so slightly as she sensed the weight of the room's disbelief, but she refused to let it shatter her confidence. In her mind, the laughter was proof only of how entrenched narrow-mindedness could be, and she silently vowed to prove them wrong. Though her classmates' ridicule stung, she took it as a challenge, a call to embrace her heritage and the legacy of hard work that had led her mother to the stars. By the time the bell rang, Mia's words had left a lingering impression on her, even if not all of her peers understood. In that vulnerable moment of exposure, she discovered that speaking her truth was both empowering and painful, a lesson that would shape her journey for years to come. Though the ridicule had hurt deeply, Mia knew that her identity and her mother's achievements were worth standing up for, no matter how many laughs they elicited. After class, Mia Carter slumped into a quiet corner of the school library, still reeling from the laughter that had echoed through the classroom. Instead of lashing out or letting the hurt consume her, she chose to remain composed. Mia's eyes welled with unshed tears as she replayed the moment in her mind, the snickers and whispered doubts reverberating in her heart. Yet, in that quiet aftermath, she resolved to hold firmly to the truth about her mom's incredible work at the National Space Agency. For Mia, her mother, Dr. Elaine Carter, was not only a brilliant scientist but also a role model who had paved a challenging path in the field of aerospace engineering. In her mind, every derisive laugh was simply a manifestation of the ignorance that often clouds people's judgment when faced with excellence. With this understanding, Mia took a deep breath and refocused her thoughts on what mattered most, the integrity of her family's story. She recalled how her mom had explained complex missions and scientific challenges with such clarity and passion that even the most daunting technical jargon became inspiring. Those memories filled Mia with quiet confidence. She decided that if her classmates couldn't appreciate the significance of her mom's career, it was their loss. Instead of replying with bitterness or sarcasm, Mia chose silence, refusing to let the negativity disrupt her inner peace. Throughout the remainder of the day, Mia walked the halls with a subtle resilience. Every time she passed a group of laughing classmates or overheard snide comments, she reminded herself of her mom's sacrifices and the long road she had traveled to reach the stars. She began scribbling in her journal, noting down how each remark, no matter how painful, was an opportunity to grow stronger in her beliefs. "Their laughter is just a challenge," she wrote, "a challenge I will overcome by staying true to myself." During lunch, when a friend shyly inquired why she didn't respond to the teasing, Mia simply smiled. "Sometimes, silence speaks louder than words," she replied softly. In that moment, her friend seemed to understand. A small nod of respect passed between them. Mia knew that her calm response wasn't a sign of weakness but of maturity and confidence. After school, as Mia walked home beneath the gentle autumn sunlight, she thought about how important it was not to internalize others' doubts. Every step she took was a quiet protest against the shallow judgments of those who could not see the beauty in hard work and perseverance. She recalled how her mom would say, "Greatness is not measured by what others think of you, but by your own belief in your abilities." That mantra resonated deeply with Mia, reinforcing her decision to remain unshaken. Back at home, she found solace in the familiar hum of daily routines. The soft ticking of the clock, the smell of dinner being prepared, and the gentle murmur of family conversation wrapped her in a sense of belonging. Here, in the warm embrace of home, she was reminded that her identity was shaped not by the laughter of others but by her own determination and the legacy of a remarkable woman. Her mother, Dr. Elaine Carter. By the time she prepared for bed, Mia felt a newfound inner strength. The pain of ridicule had not disappeared, but it had transformed into a quiet resolve. Tomorrow, she vowed, she would face the world with even greater determination. Her silence in class had been a seed of confidence, one that would grow stronger with each challenge. In that moment of solitude, as she gazed out her bedroom window at the stars, Mia Carter knew that the journey ahead was hers to shape, a journey fueled by the unwavering belief in her mother's accomplishments and her own potential. Later that afternoon, after the day's emotional roller coaster had ended, Mia Carter hurried home with heavy steps. The echoes of classroom laughter still reverberated in her mind, and she longed for reassurance. Once inside, she found herself drawn to the quiet sanctuary of her mother's study. Dr. Elaine Carter, a renowned aerospace engineer at the National Space Agency, sat at her desk surrounded by models of rockets and celestial maps. The familiar sight of her mother's determined face offered a soothing balm to Mia's bruised spirit. "Mom," Mia began hesitantly, "today was really hard. My classmates, they laughed when I said you worked at NASA. They said it was just a silly story." Her voice trembled as she recounted the events, tears welling in her eyes. Dr. Carter's eyes softened, and she motioned for Mia to come closer. "My dear, I know it hurts," she said gently. "When I was your age, many doubted me too. They said the sky was too far, that I wasn't cut out for the challenge. But I never let their doubts define me." Dr. Carter explained how, in her early years, she had faced skepticism at every turn. Despite her passion for aerospace engineering, she had encountered countless obstacles, dismissive teachers, narrow-minded peers, and a society that often underestimated a woman's ability in science and technology. "They thought I was too fragile, too delicate for the rigorous demands of space exploration," she recalled, her voice a mixture of wistfulness and resolve. "But I proved them wrong, not with arrogance, but with persistence and hard work." As she spoke, Dr. Carter shared intimate details of her own journey, a path filled with late nights in the lab, rigorous experiments, and moments of both breakthrough and failure. She explained that every hurdle she overcame was a victory not just for herself, but for all those who dared to dream beyond the conventional limits. "I want you to know," she said, her tone firm yet compassionate, "that you are worthy of your dreams. Don't let the ignorance of others cloud your belief in yourself or in what our family stands for." Mia listened intently, her earlier humiliation slowly giving way to inspiration. Her mother's words painted a vivid picture of determination and resilience. Dr. Carter reminded her that the ridicule she faced was a reflection of others' narrow vision rather than a measure of her own worth. "Remember, Mia, the truth is on your side," she said. "You have a legacy of courage and excellence in this family. The laughter of those who cannot see the value of hard work and dedication will fade in time." Dr. Carter's study was a treasure trove of memorabilia, photos of space launches, awards for innovative research, and even a small, framed letter of commendation from a NASA administrator. Each artifact bore silent testimony to the long, arduous journey of a woman who had shattered glass ceilings. Mia's eyes roamed over these tokens of achievement, and slowly, the sting of her classmates' mockery began to recede. In its place grew a burgeoning pride, a quiet acknowledgement that her mother was indeed a pioneer, someone who had paved the way for many like her. The conversation turned to practical advice. Dr. Carter encouraged Mia to harness the power of her passion rather than letting others' doubts hold her back. When people laugh at your dreams, she said, let it fuel your determination to succeed. Use that energy to prove them wrong, not to let yourself be diminished. Mia nodded, the weight of her earlier distress lifting as she absorbed her mother's words. Before they ended their conversation, Dr. Carter reminded Mia that the journey to greatness was rarely easy. Every challenge you face is an opportunity to learn and grow, she said, gently placing her hand over Mia's. I've been underestimated and ridiculed, but I've also built a career that I'm proud of. And so will you. Mia's heart swelled with gratitude. In her mother's quiet, unwavering support, she found the strength to let go of the day's hurt. As they embraced, Mia felt a renewed sense of purpose, a determination to forge ahead, knowing that her dreams were not only valid but destined for greatness. With her mother's inspiring legacy as her guide, Mia Carter resolved to face the world with confidence, no matter how loud the laughter might be. The following week, a buzz of anticipation swept through Magnolia Middle School as Parent Day arrived. The hallways were abuzz with chatter about the special guest expected to visit classrooms. Mia Carter's classmates exchanged whispers and speculative glances, many unaware of the true identity of the visitor. In the midst of it all, Mia felt a mixture of nervousness and hope. Perhaps this day would finally prove to everyone that her mother's work was real. Inside her classroom, the teacher announced, "Today we have a surprise for you, a guest who will share a unique perspective on space and science." The moment was electric. The room fell silent with expectation until the door swung open and in walked Dr. Elaine Carter, proudly sporting her official National Space Agency badge. The class was momentarily stunned into silence. All the teasing that Mia had endured earlier that day evaporated in the wake of her mother's confident entrance. Dr. Carter greeted the students warmly, introducing herself as not only a scientist but as someone who had overcome many challenges to pursue her passion for aerospace engineering. With measured poise, she explained her role at the agency, detailing how her work contributed to launching satellites and exploring new frontiers. The vivid imagery in her description, of rockets soaring into the sky and of groundbreaking experiments conducted in state-of-the-art laboratories, captivated the students' attention. Mia's eyes shone with pride as her classmates listened, their previous mockery replaced by curiosity and awe. Some students, who had once snickered at the idea of a mom working at NASA, now leaned forward in their seats, their expressions transformed by newfound respect. Dr. Carter's presence was magnetic. She carried herself with an air of quiet authority that immediately commanded the room's attention. As the presentation continued, Dr. Carter shared personal anecdotes about her struggles in a field that wasn't always welcoming to women or people from diverse backgrounds. She recounted how she had often been underestimated and how her ideas were dismissed by colleagues who doubted her capabilities. With a gentle smile and a tone of resilient humor, she explained that each setback was a stepping stone to greater achievements. "Every time someone doubted me," she said, "I used it as motivation to work harder and prove them wrong." Her narrative was interspersed with moments of light humor, a story about a failed experiment that ended in a minor lab mishap, and the unexpected encouragement from a mentor who saw potential where others saw risk. Through these stories, Dr. Carter underscored a critical lesson, that brilliance and hard work often defy expectations, and that it's important not to let stereotypes limit one's aspirations. As she neared the end of her talk, Dr. Carter addressed the class directly, urging them not to dismiss their dreams based on what others might say. "Don't let anyone tell you that your dreams are too big or too out of reach," she advised. "Sometimes, the most groundbreaking discoveries come from those who dared to challenge the status quo." The room was hushed, every word resonating deeply with the young audience. For Mia, witnessing her mother's presentation was transformative. The earlier ridicule she had suffered seemed trivial in the face of Dr. Carter's undeniable success. Her mother's story was not just about personal achievement, it was a powerful lesson in resilience, determination, and the importance of believing in oneself. When the presentation concluded, the teacher invited questions from the students. One by one, curious hands shot up, and Dr. Carter answered each query with patience and clarity. The shift in the classroom atmosphere was palpable, where once laughter had echoed, now thoughtful silence and genuine interest reigned. Mia's classmates began to see her not as a target of ridicule, but as a proud representative of someone who had truly made a difference in the world. After the session, as students filed out of the classroom, several approached Mia to congratulate her and ask questions about her mother's work. The transformation was complete, the sneers and whispers had been replaced by respect and admiration. In that moment, Mia realized that her mother's unwavering dedication and quiet strength had the power to change minds, one inspiring presentation at a time. Following her captivating presentation, Dr. Elaine Carter took the opportunity to lead a brief interactive session with the class. The goal was to teach the students an important lesson about not letting preconceived notions limit their dreams. Standing in front of a chalkboard adorned with sketches of rockets and diagrams of spacecraft, she began by posing a simple question: what does it mean to have a big dream? Students hesitated at first, glancing at each other uncertainly. Then, one by one, they offered responses, some saying it meant working hard, others suggesting it was about overcoming obstacles. Dr. Carter nodded thoughtfully, then built on their ideas by sharing a personal story. When I was in school, she recalled, many people doubted that I could be an engineer. They said my ideas were too ambitious, that I wasn't cut out for the challenges of space exploration. But I believed in myself, and that belief helped me turn dreams into reality. Her voice, warm yet firm, carried the weight of years of experience and struggle. As she spoke, she encouraged the students to think beyond the limitations imposed by others. Remember, she said, true brilliance often doesn't fit neatly into expectations. It's messy, it's bold, and sometimes it's misunderstood. But that doesn't mean it isn't real. Dr. Carter then invited the students to share examples of people they admired who had defied expectations. The classroom quickly buzzed with enthusiastic responses, names of inventors, explorers, and even everyday heroes emerged. Each answer reinforced her message, that no matter where you come from or how others judge you, your dreams are your own to nurture. The discussion soon turned personal, and several students timidly raised questions about how to overcome self-doubt and discouragement. Dr. Carter answered each query with a blend of practical advice and heartfelt wisdom. When I faced rejection or mockery, she explained, I learned that every setback is an opportunity to learn and grow. Don't let the naysayers silence your inner voice. Instead, let their doubt be the fuel that propels you forward. Mia listened intently, absorbing every word. The classroom felt transformed. What had begun as a routine lecture had evolved into a powerful exchange of ideas about dreams, identity, and the courage to pursue one's passion. Dr. Carter's message resonated with the students on multiple levels. It was not only about achieving success in science but also about embracing one's uniqueness and defying societal expectations. In one particularly moving moment, a quiet student shared how she had always felt that her creative ideas were too unconventional. Dr. Carter responded by emphasizing that the world needed innovative minds that challenged the status quo, and that being different was a strength, not a weakness. Each one of you has the potential to change the world, she declared, but you must first believe in your own worth. As the lesson drew to a close, Dr. Carter urged the class to write down one big dream they had and one small step they could take to pursue it. The exercise was simple yet profound, and as the students scribbled their thoughts on paper, the room buzzed with a new energy, a collective hope that was palpable. For Mia, witnessing her mother guide her classmates with such empathy and conviction was life-changing. The earlier mockery and isolation she had felt were now replaced with the knowledge that her identity was tied to something extraordinary. Dr. Carter's lesson was not just about science, it was a call to embrace who you are and to pursue your passions despite the doubts of others. When the session ended, the room erupted in soft applause, and many students lingered to ask more questions or to share their dreams. Mia felt a deep sense of pride as she observed the transformation in her classmates. What had once been a room of skeptics was now filled with inspired young minds. In that moment, she realized that her mother's journey was a beacon of hope, and that the courage to dream big was a legacy she, too, would carry forward. After Dr. Carter's moving lesson, the entire atmosphere of Magnolia Middle School underwent a subtle yet unmistakable transformation. In the days following the presentation, Mia Carter noticed that her classmates' attitudes had shifted dramatically. Where once there had been laughter and dismissive whispers at her mention of her mom's work at the National Space Agency, there was now a respectful silence. Mia found that her peers no longer mocked her when she casually mentioned that her mom was a scientist who helped launch satellites into orbit. Instead, they listened, asked questions, and even expressed admiration. A quiet change had taken hold, the energy of skepticism had given way to curiosity and even pride. It was as if Dr. Carter's presence had not only validated Mia's identity but had also inspired her classmates to re-examine their own assumptions about what was possible. During group projects and class discussions, Mia observed that teachers treated her contributions with renewed respect. Comments that once dripped with irony were replaced by genuine interest. When Mia raised her hand to share an idea or a fact about space exploration, her classmates now looked at her with newfound attentiveness rather than dismissive smirks. Even in the hallways, the whispers had transformed. Rumors of her mother's remarkable career had spread, and many students began asking Mia questions about what it was like to work at the National Space Agency. Though initially overwhelmed, Mia found that she could answer confidently, buoyed by the pride of knowing her mother's legacy was not just a private matter but an inspiration to others. The change in the classroom environment was not just about respect for Mia, it reflected a broader shift in the school's culture. The once dismissive attitude toward ambitious dreams had softened as students realized that extraordinary achievements could come from unexpected places. The lesson from Dr. Carter resonated: big dreams were not reserved for a select few, and everyone had the potential to contribute to a better future. Teachers noticed the shift, too, often commending Mia for her mature insights during class discussions about science and innovation. The transformation was subtle but profound, making the classroom a more inclusive and supportive space for all. Even those who had once laughed behind her back now looked at her with a mixture of curiosity and respect, a change that filled Mia with quiet joy. In this new environment, Mia felt emboldened. The fear of ridicule that once stifled her voice was now replaced by a budding confidence. She started participating more actively in class debates and group work, her ideas flowing freely. Her growing confidence was a direct reflection of the positive changes in the class atmosphere, a transformation that had begun with one powerful presentation. By the end of the week, the change was undeniable. The class no longer saw Mia as just the girl whose mom worked at NASA, they saw her as a talented, thoughtful student with a bright future. The ridicule had faded away, replaced by an air of support and acceptance that would pave the way for her dreams to flourish. In the weeks following the transformation in her classroom, Mia Carter began to blossom in ways she had never imagined. With the ridicule replaced by respect and genuine interest, she felt more secure in her identity and unafraid to speak her mind. Each class discussion, whether about science or history, became an opportunity for her to share her thoughts without fear of being mocked. Mia's newfound confidence extended beyond the classroom. During group projects and after-school clubs, she actively volunteered for roles that once intimidated her. She found that her classmates were eager to listen to her insights, often inspired by the legacy of her mother, Dr. Elaine Carter, and the remarkable achievements that had been revealed during Parent Day. The change in the class atmosphere was not fleeting. Even those who had once dismissed her now approached her with genuine curiosity about her mother's work and the world of space exploration. Encouraged by their questions, Mia began to explain complex ideas in simple terms, often drawing colorful diagrams on scrap paper to illustrate her points. The transformation was gradual but undeniable. Mia was no longer the quiet, reserved girl who shrank away from attention. Instead, she had become an active, confident participant in her school community. At times, Mia caught herself smiling as she remembered the bitter laughter of earlier days, now distant echoes replaced by encouraging nods and supportive remarks. She realized that by staying true to herself, she had not only earned the respect of her peers but had also ignited a spark of possibility in others. Each positive interaction further bolstered her belief that her dreams were valid and that her mother's legacy was something to be celebrated, not ridiculed. Her teachers began to commend her on her thoughtful contributions. Class discussions that once saw her voice drowned out by louder, less respectful opinions now provided her with the space to articulate her ideas. The courage to speak up became a hallmark of Mia's participation, and it opened doors for her to take on leadership roles in school projects and extracurricular activities. Outside the classroom, Mia's confidence grew even more. She began attending science fairs and local workshops, where she not only learned more about aerospace but also shared her passion with younger students. Her story inspired some, and she took comfort in knowing that the transformation in her school was part of a larger change, one that celebrated curiosity and ambition, regardless of background. By the end of the term, Mia Carter had become a symbol of resilience and self-belief in her school. The journey from being ridiculed to being embraced had been challenging, but each step had made her stronger. Her growing confidence was a testament to the power of perseverance, the importance of supportive mentors, and the transformative impact of a single, inspiring presentation. In that newfound self-assurance, Mia saw the promise of a bright future. A future where her aspirations in engineering and space exploration could take flight without the burden of doubt or prejudice. Emboldened by the changes in her classroom and the support she received, Mia Carter began to articulate a clear vision for her future. One crisp afternoon, she sat in the school library and composed an essay about her dream of becoming an aerospace engineer. This time, her words were met not with laughter but with thoughtful silence and nods of approval. Mia's essay detailed how she wanted to design spacecraft and solve problems that had once seemed insurmountable. She described, with both technical precision and heartfelt passion, how every challenge was an opportunity to innovate. No longer did she hesitate when imagining a career that involved orchestrating space missions. Her writing reflected a deep commitment to the future, one where she could contribute to humanity's exploration of the stars. Her classmates, who had once doubted her when she mentioned her mom's work, now marveled at her clarity of purpose. When Mia read her essay aloud during class, her voice was steady and confident. The room was silent in rapt attention, and not a single laugh interrupted her. In that moment, Mia felt the full weight of her transformation, a journey from skepticism to self-belief that had reshaped not only her own destiny but also the perceptions of those around her. Mia's teacher commended her on the essay, remarking that it was one of the most compelling pieces of writing in the class that year. The assignment, meant to be a simple reflection on future aspirations, had become a declaration of independence and ambition. Mia's classmates looked on with newfound respect, understanding that her dreams were not fanciful but the culmination of years of quiet determination and inspiration drawn from her family's legacy. For Mia, the absence of laughter and the presence of genuine admiration marked a turning point. Her future aspiration, to become a leading engineer in the field of space exploration, was no longer a distant fantasy. It was a goal, grounded in reality and bolstered by the support of her teachers and peers. Every word she had written was a promise to herself, that she would never again allow the doubts of others to hold her back. With the final lines of her essay complete, Mia felt a surge of optimism. She folded the paper carefully and placed it in her backpack, knowing that it symbolized not just her ambition, but also the resilience that had carried her through adversity. In that quiet, transformative moment, Mia Carter embraced her future with open arms, a future where her dreams would propel her to the stars, unencumbered by the prejudices of the past. In the weeks following her heartfelt essay and the newfound respect from her classmates, Mia Carter took time to reflect on the tumultuous journey she had undergone. Sitting on the steps outside Magnolia Middle School, she reviewed the day's events in her mind, her vulnerable classroom presentation, the calm resilience with which she had faced ridicule, and the powerful support she received from her mother, Dr. Elaine Carter. Mia realized that her journey was not merely about proving her classmates wrong, it was about believing in herself when the world seemed intent on doubting her. The once painful laughter had transformed into a catalyst for her growth. Every moment of ridicule had been met with quiet strength, every sneer had been a lesson in perseverance. In this quiet reflection, Mia understood that her own self-belief was the most valuable asset she possessed. Her mother's words echoed in her mind, stories of struggle, determination, and the courage to pursue one's passion despite widespread skepticism. That legacy had given her the fortitude to rise above the pettiness of schoolyard mockery. Mia now saw that greatness was not reserved for those who always received praise, it was forged in the fires of adversity. She had learned that the path to achieving one's dreams was often winding and fraught with obstacles, yet it was the journey that truly defined her character. As she sat there, the gentle afternoon breeze stirring the leaves, Mia felt a deep sense of gratitude. Gratitude for her mother's unwavering support, for the unexpected allies among her classmates, and for the inner strength she had discovered within herself. This reflective moment marked a turning point, a personal vow that she would carry forward the lessons of resilience, empathy, and ambition into every challenge she faced. The experience had transformed not just her academic journey but also her outlook on life. No longer would she let the opinions of others dictate her worth. Instead, she embraced the notion that every setback was an opportunity to grow stronger, to innovate, and to push the boundaries of what was considered possible. Mia's reflection served as a quiet celebration of self-discovery and the power of perseverance. It reminded her that the true measure of success lay not in the approval of others, but in the steadfast pursuit of one's own dreams. With this understanding, she felt ready to face whatever challenges the future might hold, confident, determined, and utterly unafraid. As the school year drew to a close, Mia Carter looked back on the extraordinary journey that had defined her transformation. In a final reflection shared during a school assembly, she spoke eloquently about the power of believing in oneself, even in the face of ridicule and doubt. Mia recalled the painful moments when her classmates had laughed at her claim that her mother worked at the National Space Agency. She described how that hurt had fueled her determination to stand by the truth, to trust in her identity, and to embrace her mother's remarkable legacy. "I learned," Mia said softly to the gathered students and teachers, "that no amount of laughter can diminish the brilliance of a dream. What matters is the strength of your conviction and the support of those who believe in you." Her words resonated with the audience, many of whom had witnessed her growth firsthand over the past months. Mia explained that her journey was not only about personal triumph but also about challenging the limitations that others imposed on her. The assembly hall fell silent as she recounted how her mother, Dr. Elaine Carter, had shared stories of overcoming obstacles in a field dominated by skepticism. "My mom taught me that brilliance isn't measured by the opinions of others but by the perseverance to reach for the stars," Mia declared. In that moment, the room pulsed with collective energy. Students and teachers alike were inspired by her resilience. Her final reflection was a call to action, to always pursue one's passion, no matter how daunting the obstacles, and to support each other in the quest for greatness. Mia's eyes shone with quiet determination as she concluded, "Believe in yourself. Stand tall, even when the world seems to laugh at your dreams. For it is our dreams that light the path to the future." After the assembly, classmates approached Mia with words of admiration and encouragement. Some expressed how her journey had motivated them to overcome their own challenges, while others thanked her for sharing a story that was as personal as it was universal. In those moments, Mia felt an overwhelming sense of empowerment. She realized that her experiences, once a source of pain, had transformed into a beacon of hope for others. That day marked a turning point for Magnolia Middle School. What had begun as a personal struggle to be taken seriously had blossomed into a broader message of courage and resilience. Mia Carter's journey became a testament to the idea that true strength lies in self-belief, in rising above ridicule, and in the quiet support of those who truly care. As she walked home that evening, Mia carried with her not only the lessons learned from hardship but also a renewed sense of purpose. Her future, once clouded by doubt, now gleamed brightly with possibility, a future where she, an aspiring aerospace engineer, would one day help launch dreams into orbit. And with every step, she reminded herself that her worth was not defined by the laughter of others but by the unshakable conviction to reach for the stars.